Welcome back to my channel once again. I remain your online tutor, your math teacher, your physics teacher, Mr. Eze. Today I want us to look at how we can simplify conjugates of surds. Oftentimes students find it very difficult to answer this type of question. Now this question is very simple. Now let's go. What is conjugate of a surd in the first place? Conjugate of a surd most time when conjugate come into play, it gives you a fraction of surds. We have fraction here, we have fractions separated by either positive or negative. Now when you hear conjugate of surds is just this sign here. Whatever sign you have here, take the opposite of it, multiply both the numerator and the denominator with the conjugate, which is the opposite of whatever you have here. Most times conjugates of maybe 2 squares will give you a single number. Now we have this. Let us see how we can solve this problem. This problem says simplify 2 root 3 plus root 5 divided by root 5 minus root 3. Very simple. Now we go. Remember what we said earlier? Just multiply through with the conjugate of the denominator. Now the denominator is root 5 minus root 3. Now the conjugate is just root 5 plus root 3. So this is the conjugate. So we are going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator with this just this value. Now we go. We can divide the board into 2, where we have 2 root 3 plus square root of 5 all over root 5 minus square root of 3. Remember, you are multiplying through with this value, which is the conjugate. So we are multiplying through with root 5 plus root 3. Let me clean this so that you don't get confused. Divided by the same thing, square root of 5 plus square root of 3. We are multiplying through. Now when we multiply, how do we do it? We take this one to multiply this as usual. After multiplying this with this, use this same value to multiply this. After that, to come back, use this to multiply this, use this to multiply this, and that will be all for the numerator. Now for the denominator, the same thing, use this to multiply this. After multiplying it, use it to multiply this one, use this to multiply this and this. Now we go. So we have the first one, 2 root 3 multiplying root 5. We have this plus, use this to multiply this, 2 root 3 multiplying root 3. We have done this. Now we come here, use this to multiply it, plus root 5 times root 5 plus, I want to clean this, plus this times this, plus root 5 times root 3. Remember to always put them in brackets. All over the same thing, this times this, that means square root of 5 times the square root of 5. We'll put it in brackets. Plus, use this to multiply this, square root of 5 times the square root of 3. Now, because of this minus, we're using it to multiply this one. We now have minus root 3 times root 5. Because of this minus also, it will affect this one, minus square root of 3 times square root of 3. Having done this, we can, this is just the straight explanation, expansion. Now we can now carry it out. How do we carry it out? Square root of 2 times this will now give us a square root of course, 3 times 5 is square root of 15, plus 2 root 3 times root 3. Because this one has root 2 here, it is assumed that this one has 1. So 2 times 1, you have 2, into root 3 times root 3 will give us 9, plus, we come here, root 5 times root 5 will give us square root of 25, plus, we come here, square root of 5 times square root of 3 will give us a square root of 15. We are done with the numerator. Now we take the denominator. Root 5 times root 5 will give us square root of 25, plus root 5 times root 5, root 3 will give us square root of 15. Now minus root 3 times root 5 will give us root 15. You bring this a minus here. Root 3 times root 3 will give us root 9. And of course, you know what this thing means. We can go a step further by saying this and this, bring it down, 2 roots 15 plus, now at this point we can take this, since 9 is the perfect square, we can take it. We now have 2 times, square root of 9 is 3, we can put it in brackets, plus, this is a perfect square also, square root of 25 is 5, plus, this one is not a perfect square, we bring it like that. Now we have this also, the down one will give us square root of 25 here is 5, plus, remember this and this are like terms, these and these are like terms, they can cancel out from here. This one is square root of 9, square root of 9 is we have minus 3. These values, I'll write them over there. But then before that, I'll remember this, bring this one, because this is a step-by-step work. I'll lift this one. If you lift this one, you have everything is okay. 2 roots 15, remember, plus, we have 2 times 3 will give us 6. We'll come here, plus 5, plus square root of 15. Everything is over. 5 minus 3 will give us 2. We'll write 2. If we do that, we have, if we look at this, these two are like terms, they have the same square roots. So this thing is the same thing as writing 2x plus x, which will give us 3x. Now, if you would take this into this, we now have 2 root 15 plus, remember this is something like 1 root 15. 2 plus 1 will give us 3 roots 15. We'll have plus 6 plus 5 is 11 all over 2. And of course, we cannot go further. So this is our final answer. This is our final answer. Just take 1 or 2 more questions. Now, let's take. Now we have this problem on the board. This problem is the conjugate problem. Of course, this is sample 2. Now this question says, simplify root 2 all over root 3 plus root 2. Very easy. What we do is we multiply with the conjugate. So this is the conjugate of the denominator. The conjugate of the denominator is just the opposite of the connecting sign, that sign that connects the two. So which will give us, the conjugate is the square root of 3 minus the square root of 2. So we multiply both the numerator and the denominator with this conjugate. Now how do we solve this problem? Of square root of 2 all over square root of 3 plus square root of 2 multiplied by the conjugate, which will give us root 3 minus root 2 all over root 3 minus root 2. Now how do you do this? Use this to multiply this, and if we do that, we have the square root of 2 times the square root of 3. Alright, so this time this, because of this minus, we are going to have minus square root of 2 times the square root of 2, which will now give us all over this time this plus this time this, and then this time this, and this time this. So root 3 times this will give us 2 times root 3, just like this. This one will multiply this. At the end of the day, to multiply this one. So root 2 will have root 2 times root 3. Put it in brackets. This will multiply this. But because of this minus, you put this minus here. And now root 2 times this one. Root 2. Everything is over. You just multiply this, this and this. We now have root 3 times square root of 3. This time, because of this minus, we are using this to multiply this. We have square root of 3 times square root of 2. We close the brackets here. This time this plus square root of 2 times square root of 3. We'll put it in brackets. This multiply this. But because of this minus, you put it here. Root 2 times square root of 2. Remember, we have this. So we multiply out. Root this time this will give us a square root of 6 minus this time this. We can give a root 2 times root 2 will give us root 4 all over. Root 3 times root 3 will give us root 9. We'll drop it. Minus root 3 times 2 will give us square root of 6. Plus root 2 times root 3 will give us root 6. Minus, drop this minus, root 2 times root 2 will give us square root of 4. And of course, something is common here. We can now have root 6. You bring root 6 because we cannot reduce it the more. Minus square root of 4 is 2 all over square root of 9. You know, 9 is a perfect square. Square root of 9 is 3. You drop, before you drop the minus, look at this. Minus root 6 plus root 6, they can cancel out. We now have minus square root of 4. Of course, square root of 4 is what? 2, which will now give us square root of 6 minus 2 all over 3 minus 2 will give us 1. And of course, 1, 3, this thing is same thing as writing square root of 6 minus 2. And this is our final answer. Alright, do me this over to hit the like button, hit the share button, and then send this video to that your friend who is struggling with sword. See you in my next video. Bye bye.